Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving deep into a really big shift happening in AI. We're moving way beyond simple chatbots and into the world of architecting powerful, autonomous AI agents, the kind that can actually transform a company. And we're going to get an inside look at Google's huge plan to build a full-scale assembly line for this next wave of intelligence. So, to kick things off, let's get on the same page about what we even mean by an AI agent. You hear that term thrown around a lot, right? But in this context, it means something very specific and, frankly, much more powerful. Okay, let's be super clear. This is not your average reactive chatbot. A real agent can perceive what's going on. It can reason through problems, and it can act on multi-step plans. It has a memory, so it knows the context, and, this is absolutely crucial, it has tools to actually interact with the world. Think of the large language model, something like Gemini, as the agent's brain. But it's all those other parts that give the agent its hands, its ability to actually get stuff done. And that, right there, is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, it's one thing to whip up a cool proof of concept on your own machine. It's a totally different and way harder challenge to actually productionize it, to make it secure, reliable, and able to scale up for a massive company. This is the gap where so many amazing projects just fall apart. So Google's answer to bridging that gap is this complete end-to-end ecosystem. We're going to walk through their whole strategy, which they've cleverly structured just like a factory assembly line. We'll cover this big agent shift, how you build them, how you run them, and finally how people across a whole company can actually use them. At its core, the whole philosophy boils down to these three pillars. It's a complete stack for the entire agent lifecycle. You build agents with developer tools, you run them on a managed platform, and then you consume them through a kind of enterprise storefront. It's a simple framework. Build, run, consume, but it's incredibly powerful. Now, this is what I find really interesting. This slide translates this new kind of abstract AI stock into concepts that, if you're in software, you already understand. The Agent Development Kit, or ADK, that's basically your IDE. The Agent Engine, that's your platform as a service. You can almost think of it as serverless for agents. And then AgentSpaces, that's your enterprise ops store. These analogies give us a really solid mental model for what each piece is doing. All right, so let's step onto the assembly line. First stop, the developer's workshop. This is where the agents are first designed and fabricated, using the Open Source Agent Development Kit, or ADK. Right off the bat, one of the first and most important decisions a developer has to make in ADK is picking the right kind of agent for the job. You can use what's called an LLM agent, which is super flexible, a little unpredictable, and perfect for creative tasks or complex reasoning. Or for really structured things like a data pipeline, you can use a workflow agent, which is totally rule-based and 100% predictable. And, it's not an all-or-nothing choice. The best systems often mix and match both. This quote, straight from Google's documentation, really just says it all. The whole point of the ADK is to lift agent creation out of the messy experimental world of prompt engineering and turn it into a real, disciplined engineering practice. We're talking version-controlled code, testable modules, and systems you can actually maintain. Remember how we said the LLM is the brain? Well, tools are the agent's hands. They're what let it actually reach out and interact with the world. And ADK provides this fantastically rich and open ecosystem for tools. You can wrap your own code, use built-in stuff like Google Search, pull in tools from popular frameworks like LangChain, or even auto-generate tools from almost any API out there. Okay, so our agent has been designed, its blueprint is ready. Now it's time to send it to the factory floor for mass production. This is where the Vertex AI Agent Engine comes into play, taking our little bit of code and turning it into a scalable, secure, enterprise-ready service. This chart makes the value proposition crystal clear. I mean, sure, you could try to deploy your agent on a generic platform like Cloud Run, but then you'd be stuck building all the hard parts yourself. Things like session management for memory, observability for debugging, a whole complex deployment pipeline. It's a ton of work. Agent Engine is purpose-built for agents. It handles all of that for you, automatically. It really is a serverless for agents platform. And the deployment process itself, it's just beautiful in its simplicity. You package your agent up, you define its dependencies in a standard little text file, and then you deploy the whole thing with a single command. That is it. Agent Engine is handling all of the containerization, the infrastructure, and the scaling behind the scenes.
And this is just a really smart strategic move by Google. Agent Engine isn't some walled garden that locks you into their own toolkit. Nope. It's framework agnostic, and it's got full support for other wildly popular frameworks like LangChain. This creates this easy on-ramp for that huge community of developers who are already building with those tools. It turns potential competitors into partners in their ecosystem. Really smart.
So our agent is built, it's deployed, it's running at scale. Fantastic. But how does an actual business user, let's say an analyst over in the finance department, how do they even find it and use it? This is the classic last mile problem, and it's solved by the final piece of the stack, Google AgentSpaces. Think of AgentSpaces as the new central nervous system for knowledge and automation inside a company. It's part intelligent intranet that can search across all your company's data, it's part AI assistant, and most important for our journey here, it's part gallery or app store for finding and using all these specialized agents we've been building.
Now here's the brilliant part about how AgentSpaces drives adoption. It supports two completely different pathways. For simple tasks, a business user, someone with zero coding skills, can use the agent designer to build their own little automations. That drives bottom-up adoption. Then, for the really complex, mission-critical systems, the pro developers use that code-first ADK workflow we talked about, and that drives top-down adoption. It's a strategy that gets the entire organization involved.
And this agent gallery becomes this vibrant central marketplace. It's not just a home for the agents your own company builds. It can also feature pre-built agents directly from Google for common tasks, and even agents from third-party partners that are available right through the marketplace. It completely solves that problem of, how do I even find the right tool? Okay, we've seen all the individual stations on the assembly line. So let's put it all together now and trace one concrete example, from the initial blueprint all the way to a finished product being used by an employee. This timeline shows the whole flow perfectly. Let's imagine a financial report assistant. So first, in the build phase, developers use the ADK to code up a whole team of agents. One to orchestrate the work, one to go fetch sales data, and another to research market news. Next, in the run phase, that entire system gets deployed to Agent Engine with just one command, instantly making it robust and scalable. And finally, in the consume phase, it's published to the agent gallery where a financial analyst can now grab it and automate a task that used to take them hours, and get it done in minutes. So what this all really means is that by creating this integrated build, run, consume pathway, Google is providing the heavy-duty infrastructure to move AI agents from being experimental science projects into a true scalable engineering discipline. The tools are there, the factory is in place, which leaves us with one final and, I think, very exciting question for the future.